fascinating to me because it hadn't been done. With that said, that kind of goes into the obstacles. The first person I kind of told about the script thought that nobody would be interested in seeing a gay baseball player, and nobody would be interested in seeing a baseball movie anymore.
Oh, wow.
Which is interesting because 6 months later Moneyball came out and got nominated for Best Picture, and then we've had a bunch of baseball movies since then.
Right.
And the reaction to The First Out has been incredible because everyone says like this is such an important film, and it's also a film that we haven't seen. It's unique, it's important. But we still kind of have those obstacles. I've actually found interesting that, and Rick can chime in too with chat, that we've had certain athletes that have been supportive of the cause quietly, but that haven't been willing to come out in public. Now there's a lot that have, so I'm not going to, we're only talking negative right now, obstacle-wise.
Right.
There have been a lot that have. But there's been a few, and I know Rick's experienced it too, where we would reach out and they would say, yeah, we support, but they've been told maybe by their agents or their people that they shouldn't kind of come out and talk about this, which is really frustrating, and it just makes me want to make the film even more. But of course, there are a lot of great athletes, and I'm forgetting his name, but the punter for the Minnesota Vikings is a huge proponent of gay rights.
Chris Cluey.
Yeah, what a fantastic gentleman he is. So but that's a little bit of the obstacles I found. It's been mostly positive from my side. A lot of love and excitement and support, and hopefully, money, firstout.com. We'll come to that, but that's kind of been what I've seen. What about you, Matthew?
So to answer the first part of the question, as far as The First Out, because I didn't choose the script, I didn't have anything to do with the selection of it, but Josh and I being creative partners, and we've done a lot of stuff together before. Together we do stuff as the Bushmen. That's kind of our little company, but this isn't a Bushman production, but we're working on it together, and when Josh brings me something, we actually have quite a queue for the next 10 years of things that we want to do, Western adaptations and other feature films and documentary type stuff. But when he brought this script, I knew he was hunting for something. I knew he was looking for a feature, and we did a music video in the meantime because we wanted to get that under our belts. I had done some music videos before, but so when Josh brought this script, it was really, for me, the decision had to be, this thing is going to have to be a colossal piece of shit for me to not want to work with Josh and not do it. And then what happens when I read the script?
Finally read it.
When I finally was allowed to read it, which is good. You have to do that. You got to protect it. It sounds like a lot of blah blah blah, but non-disclosure agreements and protecting yourself and copywriting and all that stuff. It's all important. You do have to protect intellectual property because people will steal it, and especially something like this, on such a hot button issue. I read the script and it felt like I was reading a piece of history, but I was reading a fictional story of something that should have already happened in my mind. And I'm realizing this hasn't happened yet. So then, and we kind of actually adopted it as kind of our theme for our Kickstarter campaign is it's history in the filmmaking. A little play on words, but history in the filmmaking. We're using our art. We're using our craft of filmmaking. That's what we do. Some people are musicians. Some people are visual artists. All kinds of different things that you can do to represent what you feel, what you believe in, what you're passionate about. Filmmaking is what we do. It's what we've always loved to do. It's, I've lost relationships because of it. I've been broke and near homelessness because of it. And I've been on the top. I've been on top too. I've done really well too. It's a struggle, but we do these things because we're passionate. You don't sit here and do this radio show every week because it's paying you millions of dollars or any dollars for that matter. Yeah, zero or a million, it's all the same.
Yeah.
In this case, because you love what you do. It's the love of what you do. So we want to use what we do well and what we're getting better at to lend our voice, and so.
The love you make is the love you take.
The love you make is the love you take.
Love you make.
So I feel like we're making history here with this film, and I'm all in. Like all my chips are in on this, no matter what, because I believe in it.
I will say that it's interesting to your point. I know Craig wanted to say something too.
Yeah.
Is just so I don't lose that is, I found a lot of people after we tell them what the film's about or they've seen the trailer, assume that it's a piece of nonfiction.
Right.
They say, so which player was this? Yeah. That's interesting.
Right.
That's they assume this has happened, and they don't realize that there has never been a professional baseball, basketball, football, or hockey player that has come out while they're playing.
Yeah.
Think about all the hundreds of thousands of baseball players.
Right.
Rick knows the number, and I hope he chimes in here, Rick. How many baseball players have played, in the last century or whatever?
Right.
Think about all the hundreds of thousands or millions of athletes. Now we know that there's a percentage of individuals who are straight and that are gay in our society, right? And there's been 0 that have come out while they're playing. That's significant, and it blows my mind that people actually think that this has happened, and it hasn't, and there's still that fear there. So that's something, you know, we're going to talk about and explore as well.
It's fascinating to watch as a filmmaker. You know, we're used to it now. We've told the story a million, you know, however many times we've told it. We've recounted this, why we do this, why we're, you know, what this is about. But those moments when it dawns on them, that's never why or you know, and it just causes conversations. It causes people to question, and I think as filmmakers, that's ultimately where our end game is we want people to leave the theaters with questions in their minds. You know, we want them to question things that pre-established ideas that they've had of the way things should be, or you know, questioning things about themselves. How are they looking at other people? How are they treating other people? You know, how does it feel when that's done to you? Now, are you doing that to somebody else in a different form? You know, and so that people are asking questions, and we haven't even made the movie yet. So it's at the center of a bigger movement, anyways. Like this film is just lending itself to a movement that's been going for years already. So many people are fighting in it. People have lost their lives in this fight.
It's like when you guys came to me and asked me to shoot it for you.
Right.
And I was sitting there going, well, what is it? And they were like, well, let me send you the script.
Don't worry about it, just shoot it.
Just kidding. Basically, the idea was that you didn't really want anybody else in there anyways, but it was, would you be interested in this? And you sent me the script, and I got about a quarter of the way through it, and I already knew what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to question it because it's just, and you didn't send me the script. You sent me the script for the trailer.
For the theater.
And the trailer is what got me hooked on it alone, just by reading it, and I didn't even have to get all the way through. When I finally did, I was just like, oh, but this is amazing, it should be, this has to be made, and I can tell just by reading it, we haven't even shot it yet.
Yeah.
We haven't even gone through the process of discussing it yet.
Right.
And I called you back, like, immediately, you know?
Right.
And you're like, so, but one of the things that I wanted to grab on real quick was that you're discussing how we are as filmmakers and, you know, being in the ups and downs. We don't do filmmaking because we want to make money.
Right.
We want to create something that's interesting for people to view and to be able to make their own opinions on and their own assumptions on. That's what the whole art life is all about. As true artists and people who try to create things for people to enjoy, it's not about us, ultimately. We do it because we enjoy it all the way across the board. We will take this to the point, basically, to our graves. I don't work a day job, even though I probably should. But I don't, because this is my passion, this is what I love. And I struggle at times, and then there's other times where it's freaking awesome, and I'm making money, and I'm happy, and then all of a sudden, the next month hits, boom, everything's gone. And it's just like, it's that time and time again thing. But we do this only because we love what we do, and what we're able to produce and be able to show people these amazing stories, be it stills, be it through video, be it through full feature films that we're trying to, you know, really break into. And that's, I think, the point that people need to realize. It's not that this is something good for them as it is also good for us. You know, we need to create something that is going to be, you know, enticing. It's going to be driven. It's going to tell an awesome story that's going to make people go, that is what I want to watch. You know, even though there's so many people that are against gay, you know, gay rights and all that stuff, they're still going to watch it. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
One, they're going to hear about it and go, I need to see what this is for myself.
Yeah. Whether
Two,
they go to the box office, whether they go to the theaters and support it, they might not do that and make an outward display, but they will watch it on their Netflix or something, or they will rent it. They, you know, it's like Brokeback Mountain. They've all seen it. They've all seen it, whether they want to admit it or not.
It's a great film.
It's a great movie.
That movie is phenomenal.
And that's exactly what it comes down to. Is it's the driven point of what we do, and the reason why we do it is, you know, I see so many aspiring, you know, movie makers and people, and I think it's great that they're doing it. They just got to find the right stories. They need to find that perfect, you know, thing that, and that's what it's always been. The things that get, you know, even those companies that have gotten the one-hit wonders, they got a one-hit wonder because they found that right style.
Sure.
They shot it in the right fashion. They created their one piece that made it go somewhere.
Right.
You know, now they might not be the greatest freaking storyteller, but that doesn't matter.